It all started with what seemed like such a small request, a favor that any brother might expect from his sister, though I never imagined it would lead me down a path that would change how I saw myself forever. My sister Chloe was always the outgoing one, the social butterfly who somehow managed to juggle her endless circle of friends, her classes, and her job without breaking a sweat.
Me?
I was quieter, a little awkward, happiest when I could stay in my own corner of the world, gaming or reading. We couldn't have been more different, but despite that, she and I were close. One Thursday evening, Chloe burst into my room, her cheeks flushed with urgency. She had that look in her eyes that always meant trouble for me, trouble in the form of her latest scheme. "I need a huge favor," she said breathlessly. I sighed, setting down my controller. "What kind of favor?" She hesitated, which was already a bad sign. "It's a little unusual, but you're literally the only person I can trust with this. Please." I raised an eyebrow. "You're scaring me. Just spit it out." She took a deep breath. "Okay, so I promised my best friend Lily I'd help her rehearse for this play she's in. The problem is Lily's sick and can't come over, but she needs me to run through some of the lines with her tonight over video call. And here's the kicker. The part one needs you, for is her character's twin sister. I already promised her we'd act it out properly, costumes and all. And, well, you're about her size." I blinked, completely thrown. "Wait, you want me to dress up like her character? As in put on her clothes?" Chloe grinned sheepishly. "Just for tonight.
Come on, it'll be fun.
Nobody has to know. And Lily will be so grateful. Please, please, please." I shook my head immediately, but Chloe had this way of wearing me down. She clasped her hands together, widened her eyes into an exaggerated puppy dog look, and tilted her head like a cartoon character. "One night. That's all I'm asking. I'll even do your chores for a week. Please, brother of the year?" I wanted to say no. I really did. But her desperation and that ridiculous look on her face made it impossible. With a groan, I muttered, "Fine. But you owe me." Chloe squealed and grabbed my arm, dragging me into her room before I could change my mind. Clothes were already laid out on her bed. A flowing blouse, a skirt, tights, and even a pair of ballet flats. My stomach knotted at the sight of them. "You've got to be kidding me," I said under my breath. She ignored me, pushing the pile into my hands. "Bathroom."
Change. Now.
I trudged off, muttering about how ridiculous this was, but as soon as I closed the door and began changing, something shifted. Sliding the blouse over my head, feeling the soft fabric against my skin, stepping into the skirt. It was strange at first, but also not unpleasant. When I pulled the tights up my legs, I caught my reflection in the mirror. It was still me, of course, but slightly altered, softened. The boy I saw every day was blurred around the edges, like a new outline was starting to form. When I stepped back into Chloe's room, she gasped dramatically. "Oh my God, you're perfect." I rolled my eyes, cheeks burning. "I look ridiculous." She shook her head firmly. "No, you don't. You just need a little finishing touch." Before I could protest, she sat me down in front of her vanity and began fussing with my hair, pinning and brushing until it fell in a way that actually looked feminine. Then came the makeup, light foundation, a sweep of blush, eyeliner that made my eyes look startlingly different, and a gloss that made my lips shine. When she finally turned me toward the mirror, I froze. The reflection staring back at me wasn't my usual self. It wasn't even a version of me I recognized. It was her.
Someone new.
Someone who looked real, like she belonged. My chest tightened. "That's me?" Chloe grinned.
Yep.
"And you look amazing." I didn't know what to say. My brain scrambled for words, for excuses, for anything to dismiss the image in the mirror. But none came. Instead, I just kept staring, unable to tear my eyes away. The video call with Lily that night felt surreal. She was too sick to notice much, laughing off the idea that Chloe had roped me into the role. "Wow, your brother is a good sport," she joked between coughs. I stumbled over my lines at first, nervous about being seen like this, even by someone who barely cared. But the more we read, the more I sank into the role, the more natural it felt. My voice softened without me even realizing. My gestures became smaller, more fluid. By the end of the rehearsal, I wasn't just pretending to be the character. I was inhabiting her. After the call ended, Chloe was glowing with pride. "You were incredible. I mean it, you actually pulled it off better than I expected." I tried to laugh it off, but something inside me stirred. Because deep down I knew she was right. I hadn't just played the part. I had lived it. And now, as I changed back into my own clothes later that night, I felt an emptiness I couldn't explain, like I had just lost something I didn't even realize I wanted. That was supposed to be the end of it. Just one favor. But as I lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling, I couldn't get the image out of my head. The girl in the mirror. The one who had felt so strangely, achingly real. And though I didn't dare say it out loud, part of me already knew this wasn't the last time. The next morning, I told myself it had all been a weird dream. A one-time thing. Chloe had gotten what she wanted, Lily had her rehearsal, and I could go back to my normal life. Simple. Easy. Forgettable. But life doesn't let go of you that easily when you've seen something you can't unsee. I spent the day in class restless, distracted. Every time I glanced at the window, I caught flashes of my reflection, not as me, but as her, the girl in the mirror from last night. It was like she was haunting me, hovering in the corner of my vision, daring me to acknowledge her. I tried to brush it off, but when my friends laughed about something stupid in the cafeteria, I felt out of sync, like I was sitting in the wrong movie. When I got home, Chloe was waiting with that same sly grin she always wore when she knew something I didn't. "So," she said casually, tossing her hair as she leaned against my doorframe. "Did you think about it?" "Think about what?" I asked, trying to sound annoyed.
She smirked.
"Don't play dumb. I saw your face in the mirror last night. You liked it, didn't you?" Her words hit harder than I expected. I froze, my mouth dry. I wanted to deny it, laugh it off, say she was crazy. But the silence stretched too long, and my lack of denial was as loud as any confession. Chloe's grin softened into something gentler. "It's okay, you know. There's nothing wrong with liking it." I shook my head quickly. It's not like that." But the way she looked at me said she didn't believe a word. She stepped into the room, lowering her voice like she was sharing a secret. "Lily loved it, by the way. She texted me after. Said you were a natural." My cheeks flamed. "She knew?" Chloe laughed. "Of course she knew."
But not in a bad way.
She thought it was impressive. "Honestly, you should have seen her face. She kept saying how real you looked." The knot in my chest twisted tighter.
Real.
The word echoed through me like a bell. I didn't admit it out loud, but I had felt it too, that strangeness of belonging, of stepping into something that fit better than it should have. Chloe plopped down on my bed, patting the space beside her. "Look, I'm not saying you need to do this all the time, but maybe you should try again. Just for yourself this time, not for anyone else. No pressure, no audience. Just see what happens." I stared at her, torn between fear and curiosity. "You're serious?" "Dead serious," she said, eyes sparkling. "In fact, I still have everything ready. You don't even have to think about it. Just let me help." I should have said no. But the truth was, the longing I had felt since last night was unbearable. The thought of seeing her again, the girl in the mirror, was like a magnet pulling me forward. So, after a long silence, I whispered, "Okay." Chloe's grin widened into something triumphant. "Knew it." That evening, she transformed me again. But this time it was different. It wasn't about pretending to be someone else's character for a rehearsal.
It was about me.
She chose a simple outfit, jeans, a fitted top, a cardigan. Something casual, something real. When she applied the makeup, it was lighter, subtler, like she wanted me to see myself rather than hide behind a mask. And when I looked in the mirror this time, I didn't just see a stranger. I saw a version of myself that felt frighteningly natural. Like maybe she had been there all along, waiting just beneath the surface. "See," Chloe said softly, standing behind me with her hands on my shoulders. "This isn't ridiculous. This is you." I swallowed hard, my reflection blurring as tears welled up. But what does that even mean? I can't be. Chloe squeezed my shoulders gently. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You just have to admit that this feels right. And that's enough. Her words cracked something open inside me. For so long, I had lived in the shadow of what was expected. The quiet brother, the gamer, the kid who blended into the background. But here, staring at the girl in the mirror, I felt like I was stepping into the light for the first time. Later that night, I lay in bed, unable to sleep. My heart was racing, my mind replaying every second in front of that mirror. The way my hair framed my face, the way the clothes fit, the way Chloe had looked at me. Not with judgment, but with pride. The favor had been supposed to end in one night. A silly request, forgotten as quickly as it began. But now it had become something else entirely. Something I couldn't walk away from, no matter how hard I tried. And deep down, I knew it was only the beginning. The following week was torture. Every day I woke up with a gnawing ache in my chest, a whisper in my head that wouldn't quiet down. She's still there. She's waiting. I tried to bury myself in my usual routine, school, homework, gaming, but everything felt dull, like someone had drained the color out of my life. Meanwhile, Chloe wouldn't leave me alone about it. She teased me, nudged me, tempted me. You know you want to, she'd say casually over breakfast, like it was no big deal. Or she'd leave a lip gloss or a cardigan on my desk, smirking when I pretended not to notice. It was maddening. She knew I was hooked, even before I admitted it to myself. One Friday afternoon, she cornered me. Okay, enough moping. We're doing it again tonight. I froze. No, Chloe. It's too risky. What if Mom or Dad? She waved me off. They're going out, remember? It's perfect. Just trust me. I should have resisted. I should have insisted. But by now, my curiosity had grown into something unstoppable. So that night, while the house sat quiet and empty, Chloe transformed me again. This time, she went further. A dress. Not a casual one like before, but a flowing, pastel sundress that hugged me in places I wasn't used to feeling seen. When I caught sight of myself in the mirror, my breath caught. I didn't just look like her anymore. I looked like someone who belonged in that reflection. Chloe's voice was almost reverent. Wow, you're glowing. I turned, cheeks burning. Don't exaggerate. I'm not, she whispered. You're beautiful. Her words hit me harder than I expected. Beautiful. Nobody had ever used that word about me before. And hearing it now, it was like the world had tilted, showing me a version of myself I wasn't ready for but desperately wanted. But then, bang. The front door slammed. We froze. Mom's voice carried through the hallway. We're home early. The restaurant was packed, so we just grabbed takeout. Panic surged through me. I darted toward my room, but Chloe grabbed my arm. Don't run. They'll hear you. My chest pounded. What do I do? What if they see me? Chloe's eyes darted around, calculating. Stay calm. Follow my lead. She shoved me into her room, pushed me onto the chair, and threw a blanket over me. Seconds later, Mom appeared in the doorway, smiling. Chloe, honey, did you want some dumplings? We got extra. Chloe casually blocked the view, leaning on the doorframe like nothing was out of place. Thanks, Mom. I'll grab them in a minute. Mom's eyes flicked past her, and for a terrifying second, I thought she saw me. My heart slammed against my ribs, and I held my breath, praying the blanket would hide enough. But Mom just shrugged and walked away. The moment she was gone, I ripped the blanket off, gasping. That was too close. What were you thinking, Chloe? She grinned, completely unbothered.
Relax.
She didn't suspect a thing. I wasn't convinced. My hands were shaking so badly, I had to sit down. But underneath the panic was something else too, something terrifyingly thrilling. I had almost been caught, and yet, for those few minutes, I hadn't wanted to take the dress off. Even in danger, I didn't want to lose her. Later that night, after our parents went to bed, I paced my room, unable to shake the mix of fear and longing. For the first time, I realized how dangerous this was. If anyone else found out, my parents, my friends, even Lily, it could all come crashing down. And yet, I couldn't stop. The mirror had become my greatest enemy and my greatest addiction. Every time I passed it, I caught glimpses of her, calling to me, daring me to return. And the more I saw her, the harder it became to imagine going back to the old me. By the end of the week, Chloe didn't even have to ask. I knocked on her door and whispered the words myself. "Can we do it again?" She smiled knowingly, like she had been waiting for me to break. "Of course," she said softly. And that was the night I realized something terrifying. This wasn't just about favors anymore. This wasn't about helping Chloe or Lily.
This was about me.
And there was no turning back. The nights that followed blurred together in a haze of stolen moments, whispered laughter, and the sound of zippers sliding shut as Chloe transformed me again and again. Each time she pulled the dress over my head, brushed the powder across my cheeks, or zipped me into a skirt, I sank deeper into her world, the world of who I could be. At first, I told myself it was just fun.
A dare. A game.
Something to pass the time before reality returned. But reality never did. The more I saw her, the reflection I barely recognized yet somehow always knew was me, the harder it became to step away. Then came the night everything shifted. It was Saturday, and our parents had gone out for the evening. Chloe had convinced me to let her try something bigger. I should have been suspicious by the way her eyes sparkled, but I was too far gone to resist. She pulled out a long, satin gown from the back of her closet, a dress she had borrowed from a cousin and never returned. The fabric slid against my skin like water, pooling around my ankles. Chloe fussed with the straps, adjusted the bodice, and then handed me a delicate necklace. When I looked at myself in the mirror, I almost didn't breathe. She didn't look like me anymore. She didn't look like a boy playing dress-up. She looked like someone else entirely, someone radiant, someone confident, someone alive. Chloe clasped her hands together dramatically, introducing my beautiful sister. Her words made my stomach flip.
Sister.
Not brother pretending, not a joke.
Sister.
And for the first time, I didn't flinch at the word. I leaned into it.
But the moment didn't last.
The door creaked open. Lily stood there. My blood froze. She had come over unannounced, probably looking for Chloe, and now she stood in the doorway, staring at me like she had stumbled into a secret she wasn't supposed to see. I couldn't move. My legs locked, my throat closed, and my hands curled into fists at my sides. Every fear I had bottled up burst inside me in a single, awful heartbeat. This was it. It was over. But Lily didn't laugh. She didn't scream. She didn't run. Instead, she stepped forward slowly, her eyes wide but soft. "Wow, you look amazing." The room tilted. "What?" I croaked. Lily glanced at Chloe, then back at me. "I thought you were joking when you said you'd help me with that performance. But you weren't, were you?" Chloe jumped in, covering for me.
See?
"Told you I had the perfect helper." Well, maybe I should say she is a natural. I thought Lily would tease me, or pity me, or call me out. But instead, she smiled, the kind of smile that wasn't mocking but real, gentle, approving. "If you're willing, I'd love your help. Really. You fit into this world like you were always meant to." Her words shattered something inside me. Not in a bad way, but in a way that made me realize just how badly I'd been craving acceptance, how much I needed someone else to see me the way Chloe did. From that night on, Lily became part of the secret. She didn't just accept it, she encouraged it. She asked my opinion on outfits, let me borrow accessories, and treated me like her peer, not her brother's friend. The more she saw me this way, the less I could deny what I already knew deep down. I wasn't just helping Chloe. I wasn't just playing a role. I was becoming her. But secrets don't stay secrets forever. One evening, while adjusting a wig Chloe had styled for me, I caught sight of our mom standing in the hallway. Her expression was unreadable, her eyes locked on me. Time stopped. I waited for the explosion, the scolding, the disappointment. But none came. She just looked at me, then at Chloe, then quietly walked away. That night, I barely slept. At breakfast the next morning, I waited for the confrontation, for the lecture, for the storm. But instead, Mom just placed a plate in front of me and said softly, "You look happier these days." Her words lingered in the air like a lifeline. I didn't know if she understood, or if she even approved, but for now it was enough. Weeks passed, and the transformation wasn't just in clothes anymore. It was in the way I walked, the way I held myself, the way I spoke. It was in the quiet moments when I looked in the mirror and didn't feel like I was pretending anymore. The favor had started as a simple request: help Chloe step into her world for a moment and then step back out. But I never stepped back. That favor unlocked a door I didn't know existed, and once it opened, I couldn't close it. By the time summer came, I wasn't asking Chloe if I could dress up. I was telling her who I wanted to be that day. I wasn't afraid of the mirror anymore. I wasn't hiding from the reflection staring back at me, because she wasn't a stranger anymore. She was me. And though the world outside still scared me, though I knew there would be challenges and questions and moments of doubt, I also knew one thing with certainty. That favor didn't just turn me into her. It helped me find myself. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel.